Good morning and welcome back. We're on day 8 of our groundworks down at the farm. We're currently repairing the bank. Okay, so we've got the dumper and the digger down below. I know it's hard on the camera to get some sort of idea of inclines and slopes, but here's what's washed down. It's probably about 1 metre high and mixed rubble and quite stony. So what we're going to try and do is bridge the gap of this gully that's been blown out the bank. I'm going to try and bank up the soil and compact it along this gap here, so that when I take the soil from below up to top and tip it back in, it just doesn't shoot straight out at the bottom again. The wall should stop it. It's a technique I use quite a lot for repairing banks, and it sort of works on anything up to about 45 degrees. Anything steeper than that, it won't work. It just shoots over the top. It just doesn't work properly. You have to end up doing a wall to support it. So we're going to crack on with that, and I'll bring you back in when I've got something else to show you. Okay, so as you can see, I've managed to get the digger up the bank a little way, which gives me a bit more height and therefore a bit longer reach with the arm up into this damage. Now I'll climb up here best I can. See, I've managed to get a bank there which I've managed to bridge across, and I've compacted the top down with the bucket. So now I shall take some dumper loads, pour it in for the top. Even if this bank doesn't stop the rubble completely, it'll slow its roll so we don't end up in the situation where we're pouring it straight in for the top and it's just shooting straight down and out the bottom and back to where we started. So let's have a go at that and see how we get on. So up to now I've managed to bring these pile of soil up to the top level where the bank's broken. Some of it's gone down into the hole, some of it's just been left at the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to the bottom, just load that last bit of soil up down the bottom there into the dumper, bring it up to the top, and then I shall move the digger up to the top here, into here, and push all this soil down into the hole and then see where we're at. Morning and welcome back. It's day 9 of our digger sort of groundworks around the farm, tidying up the storm damage and doing other general works that we're taking advantage of whilst the soil is still soft from the storms. Okay, so first job is to finish off repairing this bank. We're almost there. I've got a bit more soil down the bottom there next to the digger which I can bring up. I'm going to bring this up to the top, pile that up there. I think I'm going to have to move this pile of boulders because it looks like it's in the way and we're going to have to push the bank out a bit to cover this join here. So we're going to get on with that and I'll bring you back in when I've got something else to show you. Okay, so we've had a few problems this morning. Gone to start the digger and we've got a flat battery. So I've had to nip home and get the spare. I just like to say, whilst it's not the number one thing you really should have when you're off grid, and it certainly factors in the top 10, you should always have a spare battery at home ready. Because most off-gridding, the nature of the beast is you're quite away from your services. For me, it would have been a 12-kilometre round trip round to get another battery. Same goes for diesel. You know, you should always have a supply of diesel at home, so you're not in a situation where you're travelling 12 kilometres just because you haven't got enough diesel in your vehicle to get to one side of the village and back. So just here is where we need to be piling up some of the soil we're going to take from the road. I'm going to pile it just here because just over there by the false pepper tree, that's where we need to be repairing the bank that goes down to the bottom level, but that's going to be a job for autumn. I'm not going over the freshly ploughed terrace down below, and we're unlikely to get any more rain before autumn now anyway. So what we need to do is we need to move this mulch. Now what I'm going to do is I'll turn around, I'll show you. Anthea's been dishing out these trees over here. Quite a good job of it. She's dished out all the bottoms underneath the grapefruit, 2 oranges, tangerine, cherry and a fig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop that up with the digger bucket straight in the wheelbarrow, and then she'll bring it along and use all that mulch over there into the bottom of these trees.
That one's got an F. Yep. A little bit left for the last one.
Okay, so I've got all the soil up the top here now. Dump up the top of it as well. The rocks moved from over there, which are in our way. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this little bit of bank out here because just push it out the way with the blade because I want the soil to pour down this gap here and it's not going to do it with this away. So I'll push that out of the way, and then what we're going to do is we're going to blade all this soil in, and hopefully that should be enough to get this bank all fixed back in, and then we'll just have to wait for it to settle and hopefully some rain, although I doubt it, just damp it down a little. Okay, so we're going to settle for that for now. We've banked it up, that's going to sink and settle over the following month, so I'm not going to do too much work actually sizing it up. I'll just let that settle, and then when it's settled down, probably had a bit of rain to damp it down, I'll trim the bottom off again in line down below. We're going to switch a little bit, move some rocks out of that pile, the big rocks that aren't going to be able to go into the road, put them to one side to save them for big walls and that. So that's the next job I'm going to do. And then instead of doing this road, I think we're going to have to reprioritise because time's ticking by, and get the ploughing done before the ground gets too hard and turn up some of the rocks. Good morning and welcome back to the adventures of Mac and Anthea. It's been 5 days since we've been back down the farm working, if you include the weekend. We've had to reprioritise some of our work and that because Anthea had an appointment at the hospital for rehabilitation for her arm, and I had to take the van to have the ITV, which is every 6 months here in Spain. It's equivalent of the English MOT. So both those things are 2-hour round trips, basically because we live in the middle of nowhere, and so it takes time. So we've lost 3 days this week. Finally, we're back down there, back down at the farm. We're having to reprioritise the work again. The track that we were going to do, the road down the bottom, we're going to have to leave that, I think, because we're 2 weeks away from going to northern Spain. I've still got to fit a skylight to the motorhome, replace a wheel bearing, and I've got an ABS light I've got to reset the faults on, and I'm still waiting for the company from the scanner to send me new software. So I've still got quite a bit to do on the motorhome before we can even leave. So anyway, today we're going to get on with something on the top level that needs doing. So in a minute I'll spin you around and show you what we're going to do. Okay, so as you can see, we've had a lot of rain in the original plan, as you probably remember from the start of the video, which was a few weeks ago now. We had quite a lot of heavy rain, and the idea was let's get some of this work done whilst the soil's soft and easy to work. Of course, we've had all that rain, and then we've had all that sun. You can just see, look at all the weeds. It's full of it, and there's just no way these are going to get trimmed on the property before we go away. I think it's be a case of when we come back, they'll be bone dry from the summer sun, and we'll trim them all out then. But I do intend to plough this top level. But first of all, what we want to do is just make this top bank here a little bit higher and a little bit stronger, so that if we do get heavy storms, sort of September time, it doesn't end up getting damaged again. It's only really gone in one place, and that's just over here, and it's only just started to go. Just there. So what I intend to do is I'm going to go and get some soil with the dumper. I'm only going to put about 3 or 4 buckets of the digger in the dumper each time, because I'm going to put it evenly along the bank and save less manual work. So it'll be a bit more work with the dumper, but less manual work by hand, spreading it out and making the bank. We're also going to get all these irrigation pipes, if you can see them amongst the weeds, get them all rolled up and put away, and this big pipe here along the front all wound up and out the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plough all of this level here with the digger, hopefully, and we're going to do the same just with this level down here. Hopefully we'll get that done today, but I suspect it'll probably end up taking up most of today and tomorrow. Okay then, so we're going to get started. I'm going to get the digger warmed up, the dumper warmed up, and start getting soil moved up the top here, and start getting these pipes rolled in. Anthea's down the bottom, she's switching the irrigation system on, watering the potatoes. So she's got a good old list of jobs to do herself. Okay, so that's 10 little dumper loads brought up to the top all the way along the bank where I can, and where the trees aren't in the way for me to tip. All the way along the bank. So I've got the digger up here now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blade this as much as I can and move the soil around as much as I can with the bucket to save handfield work with the shovel. Obviously I'm going to struggle a bit where you see here where the trees are in the way. I'm going to struggle a bit there, but I'll do as much as I can with the digger, and then it'll be up time for you to move it around with the rake and the shovel and finish it off while I plough the over levels. Okay, so that'll do for now. Moved it as much as I can, more or less, with the digger. And fill in gaps like this around here where I can't get in because obviously this tree's in the way here. So, all the way along. So all that's needed now is a quick rake over the top, tidy them all up, make them look a bit prettier, and then we'll call that done. So, next job, whilst Anfi's doing that, I'm going to go down, I'm going to attach the plough, which is over there. And I'm going to start by ploughing this area here, and then we'll toss these pipes back over this way, out the way, and then hopefully I'll have time to do all this level up here. See how we get on. Okay, so that's the plough attached to the blade of the digger. A little bit longer than it would have normally took because I've done a bit of damage to it. Now with this plough I will be doing later on, this is the Mark 1 version. I will be redoing it and doing a step-by-step video for anybody who wants to make a plough for a mini digger. As it happens, I'm fairly happy with this one, even though it's not a complete success, because normally when I have one of my bright ideas, and many of my not so bright ideas, my first stop is the internet to see has anybody done anything the same, or at least similar, so I can sort of adapt their idea for my use. But when I searched, there's absolutely nobody on the internet anywhere that I could find who have made a plough attachment for a mini digger. The nearest I could find was somebody who made an attachment for a digger bucket for ploughing, and it was a lot larger digger. And to be honest, there's no reason why, because there are a lot of benefits over a tractor to having this attachment on your mini digger, certainly on a small farm, and very few cons. You know, there's only a few things where it will be better on a tractor, but for the most part it does a lot better job actually on the digger and a lot easier to use. So probably come the end of the year, start of next year, I will redo the plough step by step and show you how to do it and adapt it for any mini digger, midi digger with a blade. Okay, so let's get on with the ploughing. Okay, so almost ploughed this section now. There's been quite a few big rocks in here. You can probably see them down there, there, and some I've tossed down there. Playing like havoc with the poor old plough. Definitely going to need some thicker material next time I build it. So Anfi's finished the bank. Yep, she's done a good job. Come out pretty well. Nice and tidy. Probably just need a couple of wheelbarrows here to finish off, but other than that, it's come out pretty good. So I've taken her home, she's going to go and prepare tea. There's nothing really much else for her to do here now today. And I'm going to carry on with the ploughing for as long as the plough holds out. Okay, so I think it's safe to say the plough's officially dead. Just about got it done, kind of. Not as good as I would have liked, but better than nothing. So end of the year, that's rebuild it. It'll be the same design, so I think basically the design's okay. I just haven't used thick enough materials. This tube's 3mm thick. I think I want to go for at least 6mm thick. And if you notice, the end one's here, this one, and the other end one over there, seems to be taking a bunch of the force, so extra reinforcing around here, I'm thinking. Probably switch this out for a rectangular bar here, thicker gauge again, and probably where I've got L-shaped supports here at the top, I think fit some sort of a support on the bottom to go under the blade just here, which isn't going to be easy because the bottom of the blade is sloped. It's not like a right angle like it is at the top, so I'll have to figure something out. But like I say, I think the design's okay. I just cheaped out on the materials and it's bit me in the arse. So that's the job for the end of the year when it comes around to ploughing again.